So regarding SIM, what is SIM, how the data is processed, right? And the Splunk architecture, they're going to, I mean, these are going to be like, like 90% of the interviews, they ask these questions, right? And if the company is more focused, on Splunk, they will definitely ask Splunk architecture. There might be questions regarding license also, could be, all right. And apart from these two, phishing email, all right, phishing. How do you analyze a phishing email, right? Very important, all right. Phishing email, one thing I have to cover, I will cover today or tomorrow. Needs a lot of time, so I will explain that. And and alert. They might ask you questions like, even the simplest questions like, as a SOC analyst, what do you guys actually do? How does your day look like? So these questions, you've got to be prepared, right? But I think you'll have another class with Anand sir, and Anand will explain or tell you, all of you should probably hold like a same answer, because I don't know if you're showing SOC experts experience. I'm not too sure. So yeah, that he will explain what are the things that you can tell. But I will tell you the different alerts you can tell in the interview, that okay, I was working on these alerts. These are the few of the alerts that you guys were working on. That is what you can showcase. Kavya, you have something to say? Or you just Kavya, Chandru? No?
No, nothing.
Okay, okay, all right. Yeah. So yeah, that's the reason we will be going through alerts. All right. Different alerts, and I will also share a PDF. So this PDF contains around 9 alerts. All right. I'll tell that to you after I explain couple of alerts. So I think we have enough people. We can get started. And one more thing, nobody is going to ask you how will you write this alert, that alert, how will you write a correlation alert for some let's say some malicious like to find out any malicious activity or outbound activity. Nobody is going to ask you to write an alert or anything. No, they wouldn't ask that. But they will definitely ask, if at all you've come across, since you guys are showing some experience, they might ask you if at all you have come across any incident, if at all you are a part of some incident, right? How to answer those questions. Again, I think Anand sir would help you, but just keep this in mind. All right, when you have a discussion, you can check with Anand sir, like what exactly do you have to mention when they ask about, have you ever faced, or have you ever been a part of any incident that has happened. All right, I will explain the alert, definitely, right? But at an incident level, there are a lot of things which happens, right? So like some major incident is what I'm talking, right? So some, any of those things, just check with Anand sir during your interview. Sorry, during your class with Anand sir. Okay. All right. So let's get started. Okay. So yesterday we spoke about, I incident response steps that was provided by NIST, right? So today we'll just see how to work on, you know when an alert comes, right? When an alert comes, I showed you. Yeah, this is how it is going to be, right? If at all your company is using Splunk, they would use Splunk ES, that is Enterprise Security All right, there is a separate module, right? And only when you buy a license is when you can, uh, you know, uh, have this enterprise security. I won't be able to show it because ours is a free license, right? So this needs license, like a proper license. So Splunk ES dashboard, this is how it is going to look like. Whatever alerts get created, it will get triggered over here. Okay. And then depending on your organization, either someone will assign it to you or you guys have to pick up alerts, right? Proactively. Okay. And this is where we will be working, or, at least, alerts will be taking the precedence. So it will be the highest priority. Okay. Though in alerts you have high, medium, low, right? Working on alerts will be of a higher priority in a SOC team. All right. So what do you guys do when you get an alert? You just expand this alert. It's going to look something like this. It'll have some basic detail as to what this is, who is the user, what is the alert about, right? All those things. And we will start analyzing further. We'll start analyzing further. Mm, okay. Right. So let's say you're in your shift, right? You've got a couple of alerts and we'll start analyzing those. So one of the alert you've expanded, let's see how it looks like. So the first alert which I'll be taking is a very simple alert, or a very simple alert. It's the DLP alert. All right, DLP alert. So I'm sure most of you know what is a DLP. What's a DLP, guys?
Data leakage protection.
Data loss prevention.
Cool, very good. Data loss prevention, yes. So what happens in DLP? What is it that happens in DLP?
Basically, nowadays there is lots of data available in the organization. So for securing those data, there are some prevention methods, okay, which each and every organization follows, so that they can secure their data.
They're protecting the data from insider threat.
Yeah.
Insider threat. So even, okay, this is one thing I wanted to tell you guys. So in an interview, right, please use these, couple of keywords when you're explaining. All right, you don't have to explain it, please don't give some answers right out of some, like, I would say, like a bookish answer. Don't do that, please. Anything that they ask, give it, explain it with an example. So when you explain it with an example, whatever question is asked to you, right, they will understand that this person understands the concept. That is the reason you are able to explain it with an example, right? Be it anything, try to explain it with an example, right? So yeah, absolutely right. So we have DLP so that, it is mainly a monitoring for your security monitoring in place to mitigate your insider threat attack or insider threats, not attack, insider threat, right? So what happens? Every organization will have, different kind of sensitive data, right? If you go to manufacturing unit, right? Let's say any of your automobile industry, right? Even of course they will also have a SOC team. Mercedes-Benz has a SOC team, right? So for them, the sensitive information could be something like your designs, customer info, or some design info, or some product information, right? These will be the very sensitive information. You don't want that to be leaked out of your organization, right? So you will have DLP in place, so that that marks a check, right? That checks whether you are, if you're storing that data, without a password, or if you're storing, sorry, if you're sending that particular file over the internet to some drive, or even sending out as an email, right? So your DLP is in place to monitor all of this activity, and it will trigger an alert. So this is one such alert. All right. So the alert says semantic DLP. This is the heading, the title of the alert. multiple violations detected on a particular machine, some machine, XYZ machine. All right, some machine, and if you expand it, this is how it will look. This is an actual alert. All right, we have sensed, we have just masked and we have just modified the data because definitely can't show you the 100% actual alert. So yeah. All right, we have changed the IP, person, and all of those things that is changed. So this is how you will have only the basic information. So what from this you think is important? What from this do you think is important for us to start our investigation, or, not investigation, I would say, to work on this alert? What are the things that you think is important?
Severity, IP address,
The IP address,
and incident ID.
Yes, IP address, incident ID. Okay.
Device name.
the user,
Yeah. Others, sorry.
user,
User, yes, very good. Yes, absolutely.
Recipient.
Recipient. Okay. Ignore recipient, sender. Okay, because in this case situation we do not have.
Destination
Okay.
IP address.
The IP address. Okay. Destination IP address. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. All of you right. But there's one thing you have to look into
Policy.
the incident ID and policy. All right. Why this? You all know, right? DLP, how it works? It works on policies, right? You set up, you do, what happens is the higher management, right? All of these people sit together, right? They will categorize along with the DLP consultant what are the sensitive information. First categorization happens, right? They categorize what is sensitive, what is to be, tagged as sensitive, what is to be tagged as proprietary information, right? So there'll be multiple policies created. So this policy is about sensitive data, that is credit card number. All right, this policy, right, it will have a set of what you call regex. Regex is regular expression, right? So if it matches the something in the file, if it matches the credit card number, right, it is going to trigger an alert. It is going to block and then trigger an alert, right? So yes, device IP address, incident ID, policy, the user is important, right? And of course the device name, right? So in I think in most of the organizations, at least till what I've come across, so when you're working on this DLP alert, right, you will not get all the logs onto Splunk. Sorry. Yeah. Right. So in most of the organizations, right, this is the alert from DLP. Okay, this is only the DLP alert, right? So DLP alert will only have so much information, right? There's nothing sensitive in this information. But if at all we start getting the logs from DLP itself, right, there'll be many things which will be sensitive, and all the sensitive information will be on your Splunk, and many people will have access to Splunk, right? And many people will have access to Splunk, right? You can't just get all the logs from DLP onto Splunk because there'll be a lot of sensitive information. I will tell you what the sensitive information could be. All right. So understanding, that's the reason most of the organizations, they don't get all the logs from DLP. They will get only the alerts from DLP. Only the alerts, not everything, not all the logs from DLP solution. No, that will not happen. In most of the companies, it's like that. All right. But they will get only the alert details from DLP. So when you get the alert details from DLP, this is the basic information that you will get. And there is no sensitive information over here. All right. So you won't be doing the analysis in your in your Splunk or your SIEM as such, right? What you've got to do is, since you know what the incident ID is, right? You know what the incident ID is. You've got to pick up this incident ID, log into your semantic DLP solution. I mean, this is semantic, so I'm saying semantic DLP, right? You've got to log into DLP console. You have to log into DLP console, and then this is a very legacy one, very old one. I've got this right out of Google. All right, so it is going to look somewhat similar only, a little enhanced UI you will have, but yeah, pretty much same. Okay, so just give me a minute, sorry. Right, 67, 67. Think sure. Okay. Yeah, Deepak, sorry, I missed out on your message. I'll see that. Yeah, next I'll tell you. All right. So you're going to log into the semantic data loss prevention. All right, any DLP solution that your organization uses, right? Put in that, you have to put in that incident ID in the search bar. All right, there you see something called advanced filters, right? So if you expand that, you will get an option to put the particular incident over there. All right, this is the incident number that you have. Copy this, put it over here, and then do a search. So once you search, you will get the result. All right, once you get the result, just click on that particular ID and it will take you to the incident. So this was our incident, right? 003843. So this is that particular incident. All right. Now, can you guys tell me what is the file name? Do you see the file name? What is the file name?
Customer credit card info.xml.
Very good. Yes. So here is your file name, right? Customer credit card info. So this person, this Jackson guy, right, storing some customer credit card info right on the desktop, right? That's the path, right? Users, Jackson, desktop, customer credit card info, right? This has some credit card information, right? All of those things which is highlighted. This is all credit card information. So what did DLP do? DLP scanned this particular file, right? It was able to match. It was able to match. If you see here, it has matched the credit card policy, Amex, American Express card, right? It is able to match it, and it says these could be, credit card information, and that's the reason this alert is triggered. Right? So now you know why we do not get all of these logs onto Splunk. So you might get more information. You might get all of this information. See users DAX, this or the file path, right? I don't think you would get the, the file details. I don't think you will get the file details, but if it is identified, right? In some cases, what happens is, I think in McAfee or DLP, right, you will get the keywords, whichever was identified, right, you will get that information, right? Here it is showing in a pictorial way, right? In McAfee, what happens? It will actually, there'll be a separate column which will show you the identified values. So there are chances of getting all those things onto Splunk. So that's the reason, some people refrain from sending all the logs from DLP to Splunk, right? You will get only the alert information, only the incident details, who, when, what, right? Only that information.
Stuti, what are the remediation we are following here?
I'm sorry.
What are the remediation steps we are following here after we find out the particular file?
So let's go step by step. So we are still identifying it, right? So let's go. step by step? Yeah, I'll tell you anyway. All right. So there is one more. Let's see. I'm just giving an example, right? So here, can you please tell me what is this person trying to do? Let's take it as Jackson itself. All right. I know this is a different alert, but what exactly is happening here in this alert? What is happening? Why is it blocked? Anybody wants to take a guess?
Is he sending social security number through website?
Okay. What is that website? Where is that particular person sending it?
Hangouts.
Hangout.
Very good. Yes. So these are all SSN numbers. Social security number is, like our Aadhaar number in India, like, you know, social security number in the US or Canada, right? It is like, your identification number, like how we have Aadhaar card. So it will be a sensitive information. It is a PII data, right? If at all you get to know the social security number, they can identify who that person is. Like how if someone gets our Aadhaar card number, they can directly identify who you are because there's only one number one unique number for a person, right? So this is a sensitive information like your credit card, correct? So this is what was identified. And so once this is identified, here what that person is trying to do, if you notice here, so this is a very old one. So they were using Hangouts. So if you see here, the person is trying to send out all this, send out this file through Hangouts, right? So it was like a chat, right? Hangouts is like your chat, like your WhatsApp, uh, like your Gmail chat, Gchat or whatever, right? So that was Hangout. So this particular person was trying to send out all that information over the chat, right? So as security analysts, what do? We check all these alerts, all right? And in some cases, you might have uh, what do you call? So basically, what happens is how it identifies this data is you will have a script. There will be a regex. All right, regex is nothing but regular expression, some expression, all right, which has the capability to identify what this particular like for SSN there will be a separate regular expression. All right, I'll show you a regular expression how it looks like. Here's our Google. Yeah. To identify credit card. Sorry. So you see here, these are called a regular expression. For various cards, you'll have different regular expressions. So this is an expression. So this expression is run against a particular file. So if it matches this criteria, it will trigger an alert like this. Okay? So this is how different regular expressions looks like, right? So all of these expressions are run against a particular file, and if it matches, that's when you get an alert, right? So you can re-verify. Okay, as analysts, what we do, we just have to, in some cases, they re-verify to check whether this is an actual credit card number or not. There'll be some scripts that, you can even go to internet and check, all right, but that is not advisable because you're dealing with someone's PII information. You can't pick up this particular number and search in Google, right? You can actually verify credit card number, right? There are multiple sites, See, validate credit card numbers. So you will have to just put in that particular credit card number and it will tell you if it's a valid one or not, right? But please refrain yourself from doing that. You will have some internal tools, all right? You will have a process defined, so you have to follow that process, all right? So if at all there's an internal tool, just verify if it is an actual SSN number or your credit card number, right? Verify it. And also by looking at it, sometimes it could be a dummy data. So as analysts, we'll just perform these first checks, all right? And if you think yes, this is definitely a an actual CCN or a SSN number, then what we do is we will do couple of more checks. As analysts, we have the username, right? If we have the username, we have the device name. So what are few things that we can do? We'll go back and check if at all. Here you can find with respect to the user also. Okay, we'll go back, put in the username. All right, check if there are any other DLP alerts for this person. All right, and you also have with the host name or even the user, just check if you have any other DLP alerts for this person. And definitely over here also, you see the search column, search button, right? You can put in that particular IP or the device name or the username, right? And search if there are any other alerts triggered for this particular person. So why are we doing all these things? We are just making sure that this person is not doing anything else, right? We are just making sure his or her system was not compromised. There are no other alerts for this, just an extra check. Being analyst, that is what we have to do, right? Analysis, right? We will just do these extra steps, all right? If at all there is no other detection, only the DLP, right? Only these are the only alerts, right? So in cases, in few of the organizations, what happens is we get all of this information and it is sent over to infosec team. So infosec team, all right? So infosec team takes this up with the user and users manager to give them a little bit of gyan, give them a little bit of knowledge, like yeah, this is not supposed to happen, you cannot have this, blah blah blah, all of those things. In some organizations, you just send out an email or raise an incident, or sorry, not an incident, sorry, a ticket with infosec team, all right, telling them this is what our analysis tells, this is what it is, please take it up with the user. So these guys will have a meeting, depending on the severity, right? They will have a meeting with the user or manager, or send out an email with some courses that they have to do, right? So these are few things that infosec does. So they will involve infosec. Otherwise, in some organizations, SOC will only send out an email, send out an email to the user saying, hey, look, I've got all of this information. You're storing sensitive information on your desktop. It is not password protected. And you're sending out, SSN numbers or sensitive information to, somewhere on Google Hangouts or to some drive. You're not supposed to do this. If at all he or she is found sending out information, right, it will be escalated for sure. All right, you can't just let that person go with a warning. It will be escalated, as in the user's manager will be involved. A meeting will be called upon, right, to understand why this was happening, why the user was sending out information over the internet. The gravity of that particular, will increase. Why? Because of course, sending it over some drive or some, here in this case it is Hangouts, right? So that will be a priority one. All right. So one of you asked, what is the mitigation? So DLP is the security control to make sure that this doesn't happen, right? So if you want to, that itself is one of the mitigation. right? For insider threat, I'll tell you what an insider threat is, right? So if you do not want, these things to happen at all, then the first things is nothing but, there are a couple of things that you can do. First thing is definitely awareness, user awareness, whether, telling people that, this is what it is, this is the company policy, you're not supposed to do this. Secondly, zero trust. Zero trust meaning you should not give access to your sensitive data over to everybody in the organization. Have categorization. Only these sensitive information should be handled only by few people in the organization, right? So you can talk about that. And definitely password protect all of your files, even if you're any, not all of your files, I mean to say any of your sensitive information, right? In some organizations they will have a segregation. You cannot hold sensitive information on your desktops at all, right? In some organizations you will have strict policies, right? So you will have to hold it in some password protected or a monitored folder, a shared drive, right? You will be holding it only over there. You will not be able to, if whatever you have to work, you have to work on a different environment altogether, not on your machine. You cannot have the sensitive information on your machine, right? These are the few mitigations that one can think of, right? So once you've dealt with this alert, what is it that we do? This is what I told, right? You can check for more alerts from this or the user, right? Make sure there's nothing more. If at all this user is being, if you tell that there are a lot of alerts, this person every now and then, this has been happening, call out for a meeting, right? You have to inform your higher up, right? Send out an email marking the user's manager to understand what is happening. Why is this being done repeatedly? Why is there a repeated offense, right? You can involve the infosec team and take it up. So what do we do? How do we reach out to the other team? We can either raise a ticket. It is either a Jira or a ServiceNow ticket. I will show you how a Jira looks like, right? Or send out an email. This depends on your organization, whichever organizations you guys join. They might have just an email, right? They might have a process of sending out email, so it'll be just email which tells you send out to infosec team. This is what we found out, right? This was the file path, the name of the file, etc., and send out an email. Or if you are raising a ticket, your Jira, I'll come to this one moment. Yeah, this is how your Jira ticket looks like. So more clearly, I think I can show it over here. Something like this. All right. This is how a ticket is nothing but, guys, whatever you document over the email, right? Whatever you send out an email, you're sending it in a format of an email. But here the same thing, it's a different tool that we are sending out, and that's called as a ticket. Why? Because it is easy for someone to work on than searching emails, right? This will project type, whatever, you can give the project name to whomever to. So this is an example. So here you will have details about the team that you will be sending it out to. So like for infosec team, all right, send it to infosec team. Issue, what is the summary, description. If you know any person, you can assign it to that person. So what will happen? This will in turn create a ticket. Ticket is nothing but some identification number, all right, and it will fall in that particular team's flow or a queue. All right, a queue. How will a queue look like? Something like this. Okay, not this, but I'm just showing you, right? You will have the ticket numbers, and you will get to know as soon as you click on the queue, you will get to know what all tickets is assigned to you guys, assigned to your team, right? So they can easily pick it up and work on it. So it's a very easy way of dealing with.
Stuti,
That's it. Yep.
yeah. So someone assigned those tickets to a specific person, or the tool works automated, like whatever will be, whoever will be sitting idle can get a ticket automatically.
Yeah, that's what I said, no? So if you can leave it as automatic also, all right, it will not I don't think it will automatically pick anyone. Someone will definitely monitor, or there will be a person assigned already, like your manager, right? So if you give it as automatic, when you raise the ticket, right, it will get assigned to the person who monitors the queue.
Okay.
It will monitor, it will what a person who monitors the queue, all right, and it will be assigned to that person. Even if you do not assign, there'll be someone later, they'll pick it up, and whoever wants to work, they will assign it to that person,
Okay.
right? So where did we go? Right, so it says unassigned, right? So as soon as you raise, at times, it gets assigned automatically to whoever is so this is the team name, or sorry, this is the ticket number, FAP1 whatever. Oh, what happened? Right, so it gets assigned automatically, or once it goes to their queue, someone might monitor the queue regularly, right? They will go ahead and they will assign it to someone.
Today, I'm having one doubt.
Yes.
In service now, we are having SNA group, right? In the same manner, here Jira also we are having, right? SNA
Yeah,
group.
absolutely same. Yes, exactly the same. So ServiceNow is another ticket similar to this. All right, same thing. The layout is different. Which team you are supposed to raise? What is the issue? What is the time? Right? Everything will be there. We just have to raise. We can quickly look at that also. I don't want you to guys to imagine anything. Let's see how it looks like. ServiceNow ticket. ServiceNow ticket. Done it. So this is how your ServiceNow ticket looks like. So very much different, right? But yeah, this number comes up on its own, right? This is the short description, complete description, which assignment, what is the group that you have to assign, what is the category, blah blah blah. This is all, see, it depends on your organization. So this organization needs so much of information, so they have. So depending on your organization, all of these fields, whatever you see, is being made to suit, all right, to your organization. All right. So once you have, you send out an email or a ticket to that particular team. Okay. So this is a few of the things. Restrict upload. Yeah, you can block those. Most of the things you will not be able to upload in G Drive, OneDrive, whatever. Of course, you're going to block USB. At least you will open it only for charging purpose. I mean, you'll configure it so that it only, uh, you know, um, it is only can be used for charging purpose, nothing to transfer data or view data, right? And of course, critical data, restrict access to critical data. Not everybody should have access to everything, right? So that is what it is. DLP alert. It's a very simple alert, but you can mention this alert also in when your interview, if they ask what are all the different alerts that you work on. All right. So coming back to Deepak, insider threat. So insider threat is nothing but, like the name suggests, right? A threat posing from an insider, that is an employee with a malicious intent trying to do, trying to get out, get that information out of your organization, or trying to have an impact on your organization negatively, right? So that is an insider threat. So a person who is inside of your organization who is posing a threat. Don't have to be always an external person, right? It need not be always someone from outside. right? So an inside person, when he is there with some malicious intent, trying to, get some information out of your organization, or to even, this is for such things wherein the person is trying to extract information from your organization, or if at all he's trying to run his own services, or trying to modify something internally, right? Or if he's trying to, what all cases, like, uh, run some commands which he's not supposed to, create some accounts, or trying to access something, some, what do you call, files which he's not supposed to, right? He knows he's not supposed to do that, but still they do. Why? Because they have this malicious intent, right? And these people are employees of an organization, so they are insider people, and these insiders are posing a threat to your organization. So that is why it is called as an insider threat. Okay, hope that's clear. So any doubts in this? This was pretty straightforward, right? Any doubts with this?
No, Sudhi.
Okay,
No.
cool. All right, cool. Okay, so let's go to another.
Sorry,
Yeah,
excuse me. Please,
who's a
can
very
you
dangerous insider threat? Who's very, okay, once again, sorry. Who is very dangerous, insider or external threat? Both, depending on their intent, right? Insider,
Intention.
at least you will have a lot of checks. You have something called like a trust, right? But depending on what are they trying to do, both of them are. At least you will have more kind of checks with the insider threat. You will have at least some trust, like I said, right? So rare is it what you see from an insider threat perspective. Yeah, sorry, someone was saying something else.
Yes. Okay. So, please, what is the like a unique feature that you have in ServiceNow that is not in Jira, or that you have in Jira that is not in ServiceNow? How interactive are these tools and all of that? Can you just tell?
So you want to compare between ServiceNow and Jira?
Yes.
Okay, so personally, I would say Jira is more. Where is Jira? Yeah, so Jira is a very easy way. It's very easier than your ServiceNow. It is just, simpler, I would say. It's very simple way of dealing with tickets. Even the queue, right? Even the queue. When I say queue, whenever the a ticket gets assigned, right? It's very easy to manage the queue. ServiceNow is also simple, but as compared to Jira, right? Nowadays, most of them, they are all moving to Jira. Most of the people are moving towards Jira ticketing.
Is this like cloud-based SaaS solution? Is Jira?
Yeah,
Which company it belong?
Atlassian.
Okay.
It's called Atlassian. So yeah, so Jira, right? You can run these sprints. They run sprints, so you will get to know, like, you are supposed to complete it within a typical period of time, right? You like, there'll be these scrum masters, or I am not from, I'm not very much sure, right? But there'll be a person who will make sure these tickets are all answered within that particular time. If not, it will go on to a different bucket, like a critical bucket. So it's the way you manage tickets in Jira is more easy, right? You will have a separate dashboard. All right, yeah, FAP board, right? You will have a board here, and it will tell you which are all the tickets which is lying in your queue for a very long time, which needs to be prioritized, and all of it. So it's very well organized. It's what I feel. Even the UI, right? It looks little lively than your service now. So yeah, Jira is, I'm not too sure if I would want like one more thing. Yeah, in Jira, right? What happens is whenever here, right? You can add a person like this. So this person gets notified in your comment. Even if this person doesn't come, look into the let's say the alert like this, log in and check that particular ticket. If at all this person is added, like the person will get a notification. I've not seen anything like that in ServiceNow. I don't think you can add like that when you're commenting anything, right? I don't think you can add a user and that user will get notified. No, you will get notified. Whoever is a part of this incident, everybody gets notified if there is an alert. I mean, if there is an update. But here, if
Actually, Shruti, but ServiceNow it is not like that. If whoever raised a particular incident, then whoever posted to the particular work notes in the customer visible, then they will get that info, not to
see,
all
but
members.
not
There's
so
also
the
two
thing is,
options in work notes. One is for all customer visible, and the one is for a particular work notes for whoever the raises the caller, and the other one is for assignee.
I meant to say whoever it is assigned to, like the group, right? Everybody gets to know in the group, not like the
Yes.
whole organization. I'm talking who is part of this particular incident. Like everybody gets to know as and when you update the ServiceNow ticket. Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. But here I'm just saying, right? You can even mention that particular user as such, and when and then that particular user will be notified that you are mentioned in a particular comment. You explicitly were mentioned in a particular comment, and what that comment is, right? You will get to know that. That's what I meant. You can tag that particular user.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. All
Yes,
right.
ma'am. Thank
Thanks. Any other questions we have? SLA. Yeah, you can maintain SLAs, yes. Service level agreements. So depending on the severity of your alert. And yeah, there's one more thing. There's something called a pager duty. I don't know if that is, I'm not too sure if that is there in your service now. So if at all you raise some high incident, right? If at all it is some medium level, right? Where is the, okay. If yeah, the priority is medium. So you will have some integration. If it goes to a high priority, there will be a pager duty. That means the higher ups, if at all nobody attends to this particular alert or the ticket, right? It straight away escalates to the higher up, and they get a call or a message stating this was a high priority alert that was assigned. So that is one more thing. I think that's called a pager duty.
Yes, Shruti, it is also available in ServiceNow.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Okay, all right. So, so DLP pretty much straightforward, right? So we will go about seeing one more alert. So this alert I'll explain with respect to a playbook and also the IR process. So this was a simple alert, a DLP alert. Whenever an alert triggers DLP, this is what you can do, right? So next alert, we will talk about something like outbound connections to malicious IP. All right. So now you may ask, how will we know it's a malicious IP, right? How will we know it's a malicious IP? So to identify it's a malicious IP, Splunk itself will not have any, Splunk itself does not have an intelligence. Splunk itself will not have intelligence. All right. You will have some kind of an integration with a threat intelligence platform, right? For example, it could be from your dark trace, it could be from recorded future. So recorded future, I'll show you recorded future. So recorded future is one such organization, or yeah, it's an organization as well as a product, right? So they give you a score for a particular IP. So they add this extra intelligence. They give you the ongoing news. Whoa, who is that? Someone is very sleepy, trying to entertain themselves. He's beyond mute. Okay, so yeah, you'll get this threat intel. Can get a threat intel from any platform. I'm just taking an example of recorded future because they are good and they have this feature. I'll tell you what that feature is, right? So what happens is they provide all that information, right? Like any ongoing threats, any vulnerabilities, right? What is the if at all you give any IP, right? They're going to give a score. Why was that? Why is the score high? The reason why it was high. What were the recent things that it was identified in, right? So all of that information will be given by recorded future. Not only this, there are multiple things. Like if at all your organization signs up for recorded future, right? Let's say your organization is SOC experts, right? So they're going to see, right, where all SOC experts, if at all, you subscribe for those features from a recorded future, they're going to crawl the internet, even the dark web. I hope all of you know what a dark web is, right? They're
Yeah.
going to crawl everywhere and they're going to check if at all there is any sensitive information from SOC experts which is being, which is being sold or which is being mentioned, right? They will get all that information. So when you sign up, you tell them this is your domain, socexperts.com, and your employees email ID also ends with @socexperts.com, right? So they will have their own algorithm. They're going to search with those keywords in the entire internet, dark web, everywhere. And if at all there is a match, they're going to come back and tell you that, hey, your domain was mentioned in such a post, right? They're going to do all of it, right? So this is one such threat intel, and you can integrate this with your Splunk. All right, you can integrate with your Splunk. So what happens? Your recorded future will keep seeing all the IPs that your organization is dealing with. And if at all it matches some criteria, let's say if you say anything that is above the score of 60, right? Anything that is above the score of 60, it is going to trigger an alert. All right. And in such cases, you can identify this outbound connections to malicious IP. How did we identify this malicious IP? That is because recorded future, you have the threat intel platform, all right, that is able to categorize that particular IP that you are seeing, right, as a high risk score. It has 60 plus score. So you're maintaining it as a high risk score and you will be getting an alert saying you're seeing connections, outbound connections to a malicious IP. And there's some interesting feature I'll tell you about recorded future. Recorded future plugin. So there's a plugin, okay? There's a plugin, some extra information I'm telling you. Sorry. So you see this? That will be a plugin in your browser. For your browser, we cannot use it. We have to buy it, right? So it will be a plugin over here in the browser. So what it does is, let's say your what do you call? You have opened some web page. You were some website. All right. It will scan that website also, and it will tell you if there are any malicious domains in that particular website. See here, it is scanning that particular website. This person has opened some, okay, this is recorded feature only, but anyway, right? So it will tell you, it will scan that page and tell you if there are any CVIDs that is there, which is mentioned in the page, right? And it will tell you like this. It will tell you what are the different domains, what is the score for that, what are the different IP addresses, hash values, whatever is identified in that particular website, on that particular page, sorry, on that particular page itself. Right, so that is one nice option, and that will help analysts a lot. Right, so yeah. So that is how we will get this alert. All right. So once you've got this alert, so this is very important alert. All right, because uh, why will some system just make connections to an external IP, right? Some internal system will not just go ahead make connections to blacklisted or malicious IP, right? Why do you think an internal system would contact a blacklisted IP or a malicious IP? Can you guys tell me on what all scenarios that this can happen? Anybody?
Maybe some unknown pop-ups.
Phishing.
We should, hit that unknown pop-ups. Be the reason.
Sorry, Vishnu, I didn't get that. Unknown process.
No, unknown pop-ups. Unknown
Pop-ups. Okay.
Ads.
Sometime like user get a phishing email,
Huh.
some link like user is just not aware, and he clicks on that. So he's still not aware about that, but he clicks on
Correct.
that.
Yeah.
This
So
is one of
basically, something would have happened to that particular system, right? It could be through a phishing mail. He might have downloaded some unwanted plugins or software that might be contacting. There might be a malware infection on the system because of which this is happening, right? Randomly, no system will go and talk to a blacklisted IP unless and until it's an insider threat. Someone is actually trying to send out some information or anything, right? That is highly unlikely, right? Most of the time it will be your system which will be infected. Your system is infected, right? Only then it will try to contact your CNC or command and control or your blacklisted IPs, right? So without awareness, some person will click on the wrong link. Yes, definitely. Right, click on the wrong link or download something from a website, from some random website. So unknowingly you're installing some unwanted softwares, and those malicious softwares might might be trying to contact something over the internet, right, to download more information or to send some information, right? So this would be very important. This is very important. If at all you see some connections, outbound connections means there are some systems within your organization was trying to contact external domain which are blacklisted. Okay, so how do we deal with this? How do we deal with such an alert? All right, so this I'll show you the playbook, the incident response, and explain. All right, so there's a lot of information over here because this is how they have built their incident response or the playbook, right? This is how they and this is not necessarily every organization will be so detailed. No, not necessarily. So the first thing is they're going to mention what is this alert about and what is it, how did they get this alert. All right, so it could be either through a Splunk query or LRS logarithm, right? Logarithm, either through logarithm. So how did they get this alert? By looking at which logs, that is network or your firewall logs. Looking at this, they have built some query in Splunk or your logarithm, right? And that has triggered this particular alert. Outbound connections to malicious IP. Okay, and then they're going to tell you what is this alert about, right? I mean the playbook about, and this is the thing, right? Identification. It was the first thing, right? Identification. I mean, of course, preparing is the whole document, right? Next thing is your identification. Is nothing but your detection, right? Your detection. Then you analyze everything. Analyze over here, right? Detection, analysis, and then you contain, and then the activity. The same thing. Your analysis, triage, everything happens. Then your remediation, and this is your last step, the actions taken or lessons learned. Right, so they have mentioned everything and each step they're going to tell you. So it's very rare that you will see such detailed playbooks, but in the first step it talks about identification, right? In this stage, identify the initial scope of the alert. What is this alert, right? What is the source, what is the destination, right? you get that information. In the triage, right, the severity or additional analysis, what, to whom does that internal IP belong to, what is that external IP, right? You will start all of that information. Investigation starts. What is investigation? What is remediation? Right? They'll mention all of this. And then here is the hierarchy. If for identification, L1, L2 analyst will be involved, right? For triage, who will be involved, right? They have mentioned all of these things. Okay, but don't think that identification is only be done by L1. L1 will not be there in triage and investigation. No, everybody will be a part. If at all something happens, everybody will be a part of it. All right, so responsibility, who is what, the hierarchy, right, will be mentioned. And then here they've just mentioned identification. The first stage, we have got the alert from Splunk or logarithm, any one of this. What is the L1 supposed to do, right? L1 is supposed to collect the information about the IP. What is the IP? The source IP, the destination IP, right? Any user related information. If at all you've got the IP, try to get the host name. If at all there is no host name, try to get the host name. From the host name, definitely you will get the person, the username, right? So try to collect all of that information and verify if that external IP does not belong to ISP. But I can tell you one thing, you can always have that in the query itself, like dest IP not equal to all of these things, right? So the alert itself doesn't trigger, but they have explicitly mentioned, all right, to check if at all the external IP doesn't belong to any of those, ISPs or any of our clients, right? So that is what they do. Verify IPs are internal to our network. Of course, it will be internal. That's why it is triggering anyway. The traffic is blocked. Please close the case. Yeah. If you're seeing connections, but they are blocked, you can just close the case. But you should also make sure why this particular system was trying to make those connections in the first place, right? You have to understand that as well. Okay, verify the IP reputation. Yeah, we already know it is blacklisted. We already know it is blacklisted. So all of these things can be performed, right? And this the second level of investigation. The same thing, whatever they have mentioned, right? Same thing they have mentioned. Same thing. It's all the same thing. So first and investigation stage, it's the same thing. Get all the information. Now, if you see here, right? The investigation stage, what are the steps? They've told you, they've given you the query also, right? So that's the reason I'm telling, not every organization will be this detailed, right? You cannot make this for every alert. You cannot have this documented for every alert. You can't just put the query, what you need to do in a such detailed way. But this is actually from an organization that we have got, and I think the data is a little bit sanitized here and there. Okay, so this is the investigation stage. So what do they do? Index is equal to Palo Alto. See, they have given the vendor name itself, Palo Alto, not firewall or anything, right? Index is equal to Palo Alto. Source type pan traffic. This is the traffic logs. All right, you're going to put the source IP, the destination IP, the source IP, and then you're going to see what are all the IPs it is trying to contact, right? That is what they have mentioned. Gather user information highlighted, gather the policy. Okay, okay. They're checking what is the bytes information. If at all there is too much, lot of data that is being sent out, lot of data that is being sent inside, right? You're going to check all of that information, right? Along with that, what else? So converted to, okay, this is MB. Yeah, this is fine. Now check if the app variable in the Splunk, okay, what is it? Is it over SSL? Basically, what is this particular connection? Is it SSL traffic? Is it DNS request? Right? Whatever it is, right? you're going to check what are all the different ports it is trying to contact on, right? So that is what they have told over here. DNS, if the app is DNS, if it is a DNS request, they're asking us to ignore. All right. And action is blocked again. Fine. That's it. So these are the various checks that they want us to do. We will see that in detail. I'll tell you this separately once we go through this playbook. All right. So everything in detail, they have mentioned what are the different things that you have to check. So once this is all done, once you follow all of this, the final step is remediation, right? What is the remediation? Nothing but if you see that particular IP, outbound and inbound connections from that malicious IP, in a pattern, get that IP blocked. All right. And the internal system which is trying to connect to that malicious IP, right? Get that system checked, run couple of scans, right? Make sure you re-image the system if there's a lot of infection, right? And monitor it for another 7 days. Okay, this is the remediation that they have mentioned. And in the post incident activity, you're going to document everything, see the process again. What if there was any gap? Let's say this person had inserted a USB and, or let's say this person had got a phishing email, all right, and had clicked on that link, right? So these are the lessons learned. If at all the USB control was not in place, you're going to fix that. You're going to work with IT or the IT security team and make sure the USB is blocked, right? So all of these are lessons learned. So you want to document everything. So this is how a playbook, this is a very detailed playbook. You can't expect this in every organization, but this is one such detailed playbook. Go through this again. I'll be sharing this with you. All right. Now let's learn how to actually work. I mean, these are few steps, but apart from this, there are a lot of things that we can do as analysts. All right. So let me just I'll just pick up something. Machine analysis. So let's go through this in detail. All right, what are the different things that one can do when you come across such an alert? All right, so what was the alert? An internal system. This is my internal system, right? An internal system is talking to an external domain, right? So it is a blacklisted IP. Why is it not coming? Okay. Okay, so this is some internal system 10.2. Okay, blah blah blah, whatever. All right, this is over the internet. Okay, so you have been alerted saying an internal system is trying to, you're seeing connections to an external domain which is a blacklisted IP. So first thing you have to understand that no system will on its own talk to a malicious IP or a blacklisted IP unless and until the person sitting here is doing some testing activity, all right, or that person is sitting with some malicious intent. So you can always check if there was any testing that was done from this particular system, all right, and rule that off as a false positive. If no, nothing, there are two things that we have to do. All right, so understand this is the same thing you have to do even for a malware alert. Even when you get a malware alert, right, you have to go through the same thing. You have to make sure you do the same procedure. So there is no hard and fast rule that you have to do all of these things step by step, or there's any procedure for doing it. No, you can take up, you can perform these checks in any manner that you want, but make sure you perform all of these checks. All right. So this investigation holds good for both your malware alert analysis as well as any outbound connections. Outbound connection to malicious domain, or I'll mention blacklisted. Both of these alerts, similar kind of investigation. All right. And there are two things to it. All right, there are two things to it. So like I said, if a malware alert comes, so you definitely know this system is some infected system, right? You will get to know the path of the file. You will get to know what is the file name, the hash value, all of it you will get to know, right? You can straightforward go ahead, work with the team. If it is not deleted by antivirus, you can straight away work with IT team, get the system rescanned, right? Get the malicious software deleted, do a rescan, use another tool, rescan the system, right? All of this that we can do. Okay, if it's a malware alert, but we also check for a couple of things, right? Same thing as we check for outbound connection. So when it is making an outbound connection, right, we have to make sure that it's not a testing system, and we are supposed to do some checks on the host level and at the network level. By host and the network, we at the host level, we have to check whether or not there was any malware alert that was there for this particular system. So just do a check in your SIM tool, put this IP address or the host name, check if there were any other alerts triggered for this particular system. All right, check if there was any malware alert triggered. All right, if there was a malware alert triggered, let us do a host based and then we'll come to network. So what are the different host based checks that you can make? One is check AV logs or your AV to see whether there was any other alert that was there. All right, check the AV. You can check check for recently installed softwares. Right? So check for any antivirus alerts. Maybe there is nothing. All right, no problem. Check for any recently installed softwares. All right, and you can check this. There are a couple of things that you can check. If you have any tool like the one which gives you the detail about all the softwares installed on a system, you can, if you're getting the logs from that machine, from that tool, tool like CyberArk, right? You will get all that information on your Splunk itself, on your SIM tool itself, right? So go and check if there was any software that was installed recently. All right, check if there are any unwanted softwares. All right, check if there are any unwanted plugins. Okay, software and plugin that was installed. Okay, and check whether it is allowed set of software and plugin. If it is not allowed, you will have you can always loop in IT team, right, and get those softwares removed, unwanted softwares removed, unwanted plugins removed. All right, and check whether this person had received any phishing email. How will you get this? Again, you will get all the if at all you have integrated with your email gateway or your email security solution, you will get all those logs. All right, so you can give this person's use anyway, you will know the username, right? You can give the person's the recipient name, right, and check what are all the emails that that person has got from external, right? Some external mails received by that person. All right, check if there was any phishing mail received, and if that person has actually clicked on some link, or he's given away his information, right? You have to check that, right? And after that, check if at all your organization has an EDR solution. What is EDR? What is EDR, guys?
Endpoint detection response.
Very good. Endpoint detection and response. So EDR will give you a lot of information, right? So you might tell for malware alert analysis, right? Let's say there will be a question in your interview. Okay, there's like a common question. How will you analyze? Let's say there is no AV on a particular system. How will you analyze? Like how will you get to know that that particular system is infected, right? We don't have AV, but how will you identify? There are multiple ways that we can identify. Looking at the CPU utilization, right? CPU or resource utilization, right? So even over here, you can monitor all of this. But let's say if we have EDR solution, it will do all of the job for you, right? It will check if there are any unwanted files that is written, unwanted files that gets written on the disk, right? And if there are any unwanted processes, right? And registry changes, right? You can mention all of these points. When they say there is no AV installed, you can tell, you can check for unwanted processes, unwanted, sorry, unwanted files and folders that is created. Registry you can mention, but make sure registry is not so easy to identify, right? It is very difficult for us to identify what was the change that was made in registry and what is this change, what is this value, we would not know, right? So if at all you have EDR solution, it will take care of all of these things. You will get all the logs on your EDR itself. So if you have an EDR in your organization, you can check EDR logs as well. If you do not have EDR, then any which ways, right? You can, get to know the what you call, you can take remote of this particular machine with the help of IT. Check if there are any unwanted files, processes which are running. All right. Any changes to registry is very difficult to identify, like manually, right? Install third-party softwares, antivirus software, right? Run a thorough scan, right? These are the few things that you can identify with. And one more thing, I'll cover that in network. Called as a netstat. What's a netstat? Netstat command.
Ports.
Open ports. Netstat command. All right. So if you give something like this, right? So on your, actually even you can do this on your systems as well. Just go ahead, type netstat in your command prompt. So command prompt is cmd, right? If you go to cmd, run the cmd, right? And just type net stat, you will get to know the different connections that your system is making on different ports, right? If you see here, this is the local system and it is trying to, it is connection is established with these particular IPs or these particular sites, right? This is the port number. This is over 5228. This is over HTTPS, right? You will get to know all of this information, right? So you will get to know active ports which are open, which are all the IP addresses that particular system is connecting to, right? So you can, I'll come to this when I do network. So at the host level, you can see the ports which are open, but anyway, we'll use a netstat command itself. Unwanted processes running by your using your task manager, right? You can see, you can view all of this information, and definitely you can check if there was any unwanted software that was recently installed. Check if that person had received any phishing email, right? If you're getting the EDR logs, get the EDR logs, right? And one more is check if there was any other alerts that is triggered for this particular host name, IP, or a user. Check for any of these things. So these are the host level checks that you can do when there is a malware alert or for your outbound connection, right? Perform all of these things. So at the host level, we can perform all of these things, and at the network level, we can see, sorry, right? We can see the, when you do a netstats command, you can see what are the active connections which is happening. Check the reputation. Anyway, the reputation is bad, but of the IP. When I say reputation, we check in IP void, right? Sorry, abuse IPDB. So you will get to know why it is blacklisted, for the reason, right? The reason for blacklisting, right? So understand if at all it is something similar that you're observing in your organization, right? So you will get that information either through IP abuse or your threat intel. You will get that information. Okay. And then important thing, right? You have to check your, this is at the host level only you can mention, like the scan result. If at all you're scanning the system, usually in organizations, they do not scan the endpoints, but let's say it happens to be a server. If it happens to be a server, right? After performing all these things, you can check these scan reports. So every day or at least every week, you will be scanning these systems, right? So always go back and check what is the report if there are any vulnerabilities. If it is a server, this
Today
becomes
that
very important. Just give me 1 second, please. 1 second. Right, I'm telling something, let me complete it. So yeah, so if at all this is a normal system, well and good. If at all this is a server, if at all there is a server, go back and check the vulnerability report. What are the vulnerabilities that was reported on this particular machine, which becomes very important. And one more is, you should not have unwanted ports open. Make sure you do not have unwanted ports left open to the internet. This is for both, whether it is a what do you call a system, a normal endpoint, or a server. Make sure there are no unwanted ports left open to the internet. All right, these are the various checks that you can perform. Yeah, sorry. Who was it? Sorry, please go ahead now.
You said the scan report, right? But each and every time we are doing the from Nessus, I mean, for vulnerabilities, we are taking the scan, right?
Yeah. So I said you
So
have to check that report. I didn't say you have to go ahead, scan that. I'm telling you can check the report. So the
so
thing is, depending
WAP
on your
report is enough,
organization.
right?
Sorry?
WAP report is enough, right? Then
Sorry, what report?
vulnerable WAP report, vulnerability access, the scan report, vulnerability.
Yeah, that will be more than enough. Yes, scan report only, I've mentioned. So if you're running weekly scans, let's say you're running weekly scans, a week scan is enough. Or let's say you're running monthly scan and it was almost 20 days ago that you had scanned that system, right? So in that cases, you can just run another scan just to make sure. You can run an ad hoc scan only on this particular server. Only on this particular server you can run a scan and get the report and check if there are any critical vulnerabilities. Check if there are any critical high vulnerabilities. Make sure you get that fixed ASAP. Ideally, you have to get it fixed ASAP within, depending on the SLA of your organizations, right? So please go and check the scan report. Check for any vulnerabilities. All right, if it is a server, plays a very important role. And check for unwanted ports which are left open to the internet. This unwanted port details also, I mean the port left open to the internet details also, you'll get it from the scan report. All right. Or else you can always do a netstat and see what are all the active connections that is running. what are all the active connections, right? Sorry. Yeah, what are all the active connections over which port, you will get that information also, right? And if you see any unwanted ports, please make sure you get that blocked. I will come to that part next. Okay, so these are the various things that we have to perform, okay, at the host level, at the network level. Okay, and then you can come back, check your network logs, your firewall logs, your can check from on which port you see the activity, right? On which port you see the activity. Yeah, destination port details, S port details you can find out, destination port details, correct? And then anything else, guys? Anything else? You're free to suggest. So like I said, right, this is not something you have to do, okay, after this, after this, after this. No, you will actually, what will happen is, if there's an incident like this, few people will be assigned to check host, few people will be assigned to check network. Whatever logs you think you can get the information from, you can check all of those logs. You will have your proxy logs, right? Check all of these things. Check what is the request that is going through, right? Check the bytes in, bytes out data, bytes info, right? So once you perform all of these checks, right, you see that, there's a two-way communication. There's not one way, there's a two-way communication happening, and this IP is definitely blacklisted, right? And you also see that there's an infection on this particular system. That's when what we will do, it's the next step, remediation. Yeah, IP address reputation, yes. You're asking me something about IP address reputation. If you give IP address reputation question mark, what is it you're asking me something? You're questioning about what? Let me know. What is this? Okay, so anyway, we check all of that. Reputation, you want whether it would add in that. Oh, the reputation. So like I said about recorded future, it will show you a risk score. Okay, the score of this IP is 80, 90, whatever it will show, depending on what your how your integration is. Or else simple thing, you can always pick up that IP, go to your virus total, IP abuse, and you can get to know the reputation. It is blacklisted, whitelisted, whatever. Not whitelisted, I'm sorry, I'm just telling you. You can get to know. All right, so all of these things you can perform. So once you have that information, the next thing is you have to reach out to the appropriate team, right? You have to reach out to the appropriate team. So to reach out to the appropriate team, you should know the information, right? You should know which team to ask for what details. So your network team, again, you can raise a Jira or a email or a ServiceNow ticket, whatever. And why are you reaching out network team? We are reaching out network team to get that IP blocked. So if at all you're seeing this particular connection, right, in a pattern every day or lot of connections, right, and you can check for even last 7 days data. If you're seeing some connections happening, please go get that IP blocked. Block the IP, block the ports, unwanted ports, open to internet. So to get these things blocked, you have to reach out to the network team. You can raise a ticket to network team to get this IP blocked. All right. And if let's say there is a domain, let's say you've identified, okay, you've checked everything and you've identified this particular person had clicked on that particular phishing email. All right, there was a fish email. All right, and this person has actually clicked on that particular link by mistake. All right, in that case, what you can do, you can always reach out to the email admin or email. There will be a different people who manage. All right, so email security solution, it's managed by, if at all it is managed by a different team, you know, get that domain blocked. What domain am I talking about? The email which was received, the fish email which was received, right? Yeah, proof point, or you have your mimecast, right? There are multiple solutions, right? So get that domain blocked. So if it is a different team, you have to raise again a Jira service now, whatever, to this team. Okay, I'm not telling one ticket for everybody. No, separate ticket for this team, separate ticket for this team, and we'll work with IT. Okay, IT, you can raise an incident or you can just ask them to get on a call and make sure you remove those unwanted softwares. Run scans. What scans? AV scans. Okay, run another tool, get another tool, run scans, involve IT to do this, right? So these are the various things that you can think of doing when there is a malware alert, all right, when there is an infection, all right, and if there is any outbound connection made to a blacklisted IP, please do a 360 kind of an analysis. Check the host, check the network logs, try to correlate. All right, if at all this is the same IP you're seeing the connections from, all right, and around the same time there was a software or some unwanted, other unwanted, exe files running, right? Please make sure you involve an IT person, run a thorough scan, remove the unwanted softwares. And first thing is get the IP blocked, the ports blocked. Okay? Any doubts here? Any doubts? So even when you have been asked any such question, right? Malware alert, outbound connection, please talk about both the things at the host level and at the network level. And for malware alert, you can add one more point, right? Saying that definitely in the alert, you will also get the hash value. If at all it is identified the hash value, you will get the hash value. So pick up that hash value and check if it is identified in any other system. If any other system is infected with the same malware, all right, and check if, and then again you perform this check. If all of those systems on which the same malware is detected, check if they are talking to the same IP, I mean same external domain. If you see some kind of a what do you call common criteria, same external IP, or if they have received the same phishing email, right? You have to go ahead and add these details. And if you have EDR, it is going to make your life very easy. You will get all the details from your EDR, right? You will get, and mostly the process will also get be blocked by EDR, right? You just have to go ahead, do a clean, what do you call, you just have to go ahead and clean the system, right? And all these things at the network level, you have to get it blocked. Okay, and if it is a server, definitely go ahead, check for vulnerabilities on that particular system. Okay, check for vulnerabilities, unwanted ports and vulnerabilities. Is that clear?
Yes, Sati.
No doubts?
No.
Everybody? Others? How about others? So please tell a complete answer when you are asked in an interview. Anything related to malware or connections to blacklisted, anything related to this, have the same answer at host level, at network level, all of these checks. Okay. Okay. So if no doubts, then let me quickly take the attendance. Please log into your magic portals, guys. Let me quickly take the attendance. Let me know once you guys have logged in. So, Kedar sir, Ratan, Ruth, Shweta, Vineet, Vinod, Vishnu, Mohammed sir. Any doubts? Chandru,
No doubt.
any doubts? No?
Yeah, good.
Okay, okay, cool.
Good. No doubt.
Okay, okay. All right, I will initiate. I've logged in. Shall I initiate the attendance? Once you guys are ready, I'll initiate the attendance.
Yes.
Yeah, we are ready.
Yes.
All right, attendance initiated from my end.
Done.
Done. Let me know once done.
Yeah, done.
Yes, done.
All right, now
Done, Stuti.
okay, thank you, thank you. Give me a minute. Okay, so yeah, I will be sharing couple of documents with you today. If you guys want to practice lab, you can practice, but I want all of you to go through this document. So this document talks about some 8 alerts, different alerts. So if you see here, how do you handle a malware alert? So bad network quality. You guys can hear me? Okay? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thanks. So this talks about detection, analysis, containment, the IR process, right? So detect, how did we detect? We detected using an alert. An alert has all of this information. This is how it was detected. We gathered the information and this is our analysis. So when a malware alert comes, what happens is the AV can either delete that particular file or it will just quarantine or it will say, no action taken or the file is left alone because it is not able to straight away go ahead and, take some decision. All right. So if it is deleted, what are the things that you can do? If it is not deleted or quarantine, what are the things that you can do? So this is a different perspective. So you can merge this and whatever I have told. All right. Take the best of two worlds, right? Whatever is missing here, you can add it over here. Whatever is missing here, you can add it over here and prepare your own answer. All right. So this is a different approach. Okay. So similarly, you have phishing alert. Yeah, you can go through this for sure, but I will explain it like practically tomorrow. Tomorrow it needs a lot of time. So tomorrow the first thing we will be working on, I'll be telling you is on a phishing alert.
Yeah.
All right. So this you can just go through, not a problem. And brute force attack. Again, the alert, what will be there in the alert? What are the analysis that we can do, and this is the containment. What are the steps? Remediation, right? So brute force attack is something, and the DOS attack. DOS attack, I would say don't mention it in your interview also. Okay, you can just go through for some information, all right? But don't tell it as such in your interview that you're working on DOS attack alert. No. All right. This is something which you can, this is all just straightforward, very simple ones. Okay. So just go through this today. Vulnerable host. If time permits, I'll tell you about this tomorrow. Rest all, yeah. Even ransomware. Ransomware also we can discuss. All right. So rest all, except DOS. Okay, except DOS, please go through everything. DOS also you can go through for information purpose. All right. Please go through all of this. Phishing I'll take up tomorrow, and if time permits, all right. A little bit of ransomware also. All right, ransomware also. But from your end, I want all of you to go through this. This will help you understand better. Okay, I'll be sharing this document. Please go through it. Any doubts, please ask me tomorrow. But before you guys ask doubts, I have to finish phishing analysis. So after phishing analysis, I'll take the doubts. Okay, is that clear? So this will be your assignment today. If you guys want to practice, I don't mind. You can practice on Splunk, right? But I want you guys also to go through this, and tomorrow you guys have to tell me which is the one which you want me to explain out of this.
Stuti, can you share that logs like you were having on your laptop?
I've
Which
already
we,
told that, right? You can
which
always
we
download it from the lab.
okay.
You can always download it.
How we can because okay, how we can download? I actually missed that part.
Nothing. So when you, okay, I've not started any of the servers. So let's see.
See, I
So
want
you will get the
to
logs, right? You will
I
get the
want
logs,
to
like
ingest
click on
these
this
logs to
download.
my system, my lab.
That's what. So
Yeah.
forget about main index. Main index, even you can get it. So AD you forget. FTP logs if you want. Put
The
index
FTP
equal to
firewall.
yeah, anything for that matter. Anything. All
Okay,
right.
yeah. Tell me.
Just
Yeah.
to index is equal to that. You will get the logs. Click on this download option.
Okay. So I will download it in CSV file, right?
Yeah, CSV. Even I have it in CSV only. Yeah.
CSV file, and then I can upload in my lab.
Yes, you can.
Right. Okay, I will download it today. Fine.
Sure. Yeah, sure. You can do that. That's how you do it. I'll share this document. Please go through it. All right.
Okay,
So, yeah.
Stuti, can you please share all these 4 files? That is alert analysis, CDIR, alert analysis, and this fourth one.
Of course,
Okay,
I will
okay.
be. So this I've shared yesterday. So I'll be sharing these two today. And this has one more alert, I guess. Malware, the same thing. Okay. It has the same thing. I'll share all these three. So if you want the session or lab session, do let me know. I will open it today. If not, you just guys have to let me know over the evening. Do you want the lab session today, or you will have, you will have to read these things. So I'm telling, if you can manage both, I don't mind. You can do both. So whatever suits. So do let me know. I will open the lab for you guys. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. I'll share all these.
Can you access the lab at Sunday?
Sorry?
Can you access the lab at Sunday instead of today?
Sunday, Sunday or any day. You guys have to let me know. The timing will be the same. I'm
Today
not
we will
changing
go
the
through.
timing again. Timing will be the same. You guys have to manage the time. But yeah, you guys tell me if you want the lab access today, I can give you. Or if you think this is a lot to read, you need time to read, then yeah, you can go ahead and read.
Yeah, please like start the lab today. Now, right now, 9 to 11.
9. Yeah, yeah, sure. I'll keep it open. I'll do that. Okay, so I'll be sharing these
And
documents.
just give the lab IP as well. What is the IP of lab?
Yep, I will give that. Any other things? Any other things for me to do?
No,
Yes.
sir.
All right, thanks. Okay, I'm posting it all in the WhatsApp group. All right, so this is one file that you wanted. IR yesterday I've shared. You wanted. The playbook one, right? So yeah. And what else? What else? This is alert analysis. Yeah, I think I'll just yeah, that's about it, right? One more alert analysis. I'll check where this is and I will send it to you guys. So yeah, that has been sent. So any doubts so far? Any doubts so far, guys? Yes, no, maybe.
IP address of the lab, please.
Hey, I will share. Just I've not even started the lab. Just give me some time, all right? I was just
Okay,
sharing
okay,
something, so
okay.
give me some time. I'll do that. So, any doubts, guys? So tomorrow will be my last class. All right. The last session with you guys. From Friday on, I mean Friday you will have a CV preparation class. All right. Something not to miss. Right. Do's and don'ts will be told to you guys. Right. So
Who is going to take?
I think Anand sir is going to take. Yeah, I think it is Anand sir. Most probably
After,
Anand or Arjun.
so
I
how
think
much classes are left like for this
that
course?
you guys should tell me. That you guys should tell me. I have extended for a week. So you guys, almost a week I've extended. So you guys should tell me how long is your course for?
Okay,
I
so I
think it
think
is for 2 months. I think it is for 2 months.
2 months. So you finished?
That means
1 month
I
probably?
1 month is finished already.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So a month more, a month and a week more because mine has got extended. So your rest of the class will be whatever is there in your curriculum, it'll go on.
Hello, Stuti.
Yeah.
Can you please explain the threat intelligence concept?
Sure. Yeah. And yeah, one second.
And I want to add one more point. Actually, in our organization, we are using McAfee DLP.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah. In between that, they design some policy. The user cannot paste and copy the data around the network.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, yes. Even that
Yeah,
is there. Yes.
McAfee DLP. Yeah.
Yes, you can definitely do that as well. They'll not allow you to copy paste
Allowed.
from production
Yeah.
to copy
Also,
also. Huh.
yeah. Also, they develop some policy for Aadhaar card also. Means
Oh,
Aadhaar
nice.
card and
Huh.
yeah, PAN card want to send the detail out of network
Okay.
and they are get the alert.
Oh, oh, nice. That's nice. Thanks for sharing that info. Yeah, depending on the
Yeah.
so they work along with the now you said McAfee DLP, right? So there'll be some person,
Yeah.
there'll be some consultant from DLP McAfee, right? So you work along with them depending on what policy that you that your organization needs, right? So they will have, so in some cases it will be custom policy depending on your
Yes.
organization. So they'll help you do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
correct. Thank you. So yeah, you have shared the IP, guys. Whoever wants to, oh sorry, who wants to practice can go ahead, start the practice. Anything till today, I've shared a lot of questions. So couple of you have shared me the dashboard queries. I'll check that and I'll let you know. And please practice whenever you get a chance. And most importantly, please go through the document which I've shared. Please go through the document which I've shared. Because tomorrow is the last class, right? And phishing is very important. I would need a lot of time to explain phishing, right? So first I will be telling about phishing, and then I will take any doubts that you guys have. Any other alerts that you want me to explain, I will explain tomorrow after explaining phishing. Okay, so now threat intel, right? So threat intel, I'll show you some examples. uh, show you for record. Any threat intel tool, right? It will almost be the same, but everything will have their own unique feature, right? So any vendor that you purchase this threat intelligence from, right? So what they people do, what these people basically do is dashboard, right? So these are a bunch of researchers, right? What they do is they will collect the information. So they will collect the information, latest trend, whatever is happening throughout the world, any attacks, right? Everyone will have a different way of collecting information, right? Usually from some keywords, right? They will have crawlers. So these crawlers are nothing but like how your Google crawler works, right? When so they'll be scanning multiple websites, multiple sites, right? Some kind of an algorithm that these guys would have written. So they keep crawling the websites for those keywords. So if at all it comes across any kind of a keyword, if it matches anything that is also with respect to your organization, they give more input to your organization. Apart from that, like I said, daily, daily one or the attack will be happening in the in the world, right? So they get all this information. How do they get all this information? Like I said, there are multiple ways. There are research groups working. All right, there'll be constant research that will be happening. They share their inputs. These people get their inputs from them, or like I talked about, these crawlers over the internet, dark web, everywhere, right? They try to get that information. So threat intelligence is nothing but, you know, these are a bunch of people who will provide more insight to what is happening, to more insight about IPs, about domains, right? Anything malicious, right? Whatever is happening, they try to provide more information regarding that. So why is that important? That becomes even this indicators of compromise, right? IOCs. So what happens? These research groups, right? They try to analyze. Like let's say there's a malware. All right, there's an infection. There's a particular malware. They try to analyze how this particular malware behaves, right? How this particular malware behaves. They put it in a sandbox environment. They see what is this malware trying to do? Which process is it trying to invoke? Right? What is the hash value of the file it is trying to download? What is the process which is getting created? What is the domain or the IP it is trying to contact? Right? They make a note of all these things. Those are called as indicators of compromise. This IP, if at all you see your internal system talking to this IP, it might be a indicator that there could be a compromise. That's what's called IOC. right? So they give all this information. So how do they get this information? They will have a group of people, researchers, or they will have, they will get this input from a group of researchers about the IOCs, and we will take that as a service from these guys, because we need to know as an organization, right, what are the things that is happening all through the world. All right, what is something we should be aware of? Okay, what are the let's say there is a new threat, right? If you remember, just few days ago there was a Okta breach, right? Do you guys know? Did you see that in the news? Just couple of days ago, I think last week, there was a breach, Okta breach.
Yes,
So
yes.
this group called Lapses, right? They were able to get into the Okta systems. They have got the admin access, and they were able to see all the customer details. Whoever is taking the service, whoever is a customer of Okta, they had that data, right? So I hope you guys are aware. That is a very recent one, which you can also mention about in your interviews. All right. So uh, please go through the news also here and there, right? And so we can get back to recorded future or any threat intel to give us some more information, right? We can always go back and say, if at all you have any information about IOCs, please give us that information. Or even if they have it, if they have done with their analysis, right, they can give us the list of IOCs, and even they will perform a scan in our network, seeing if there are any connections to those IOCs, right? So this is an added level of intelligence. So we need this intelligence to categorize what is this particular IP, is this a blacklisted IP, is this a blacklisted domain, what are the IOCs, right? So we need this information, we need this intelligence to enhance our security, right? So that is what your threat intel does. That is what the information your threat intel does. And also apart from this, like I said, if at all, there'll be many services that these guys provide, like domain, if at all someone is trying to spoof your domain, right? Let's say our domain is socexperts.com, right? Experts.com. So if at all someone else is registered with something called soc, there is no c, experts.com, soc experts. But looking at it, it looks like soc experts. If it's a typo, that's why it's called as a typo squatted domain, right? There might be a typo. Some people might forgot to put a c, and they give socexperts.com, right? This site might look very much similar to SOC experts, right? But they have some malicious intent. So what these people do, the threat intel guys, they tell us that, hey guys, someone is trying to typo squat your domain. How will they tell? Because they know our domain. We have registered for getting these services, right? They scroll everywhere over the internet, see the recent domain registrations, right? So they see all of it. And if they see something like this, which looks very much similar to our domain, it's called a typo squatted domain, they're going to send us an alert saying, hey, this is what we see, right? And then we check what is this. If this is a malicious thing, we will go to the registrar and tell them that this looks malicious. We will want you to take this down. Or even your threat intel, they will also have some tie-ups. They will also raise a request and get this domain. They will bring down this domain if you have proper artifacts, right? So all of these things can be done. I mean, this is what you will get from getting a service from a threat intel. Okay, is that okay?
Yeah. Yes, Stuti. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Please, yeah, I will share, Deepak. Just give me some time. Yeah, I have to search for that document where it is. I've opened it over here, but I have to search where it is. So just give me some time. I will share it. You want me to share, but you would not. Yesterday also you said share, but you've not gone through the document, huh? So please, but today no reasons. You guys have to go through the documents. Okay, so anything else, guys? Anything else that needs to be discussed, need to be told, repeated? Anything, please do let me know. The lab is open. I've posted the IP in the chat.